Alright, guys. Mason here, Cardinal Gaming. I just got done with, like, probably the most saddest, depressing video I've ever made. So, I'm going to try to be a little more upbeat and talk about these leaks, kind of not leaky stuff from Fusion Strike. It's kind of exciting, kind of cool. A lot of stuff that we're getting that we've been missing for a long time from Japan, we're finally getting, and English, and Fusion Strike, which is like the Frankenstein of sets, where they just throwing things from half a year ago, from last set, from the previous sets before that, and just throwing it all in this one big set, the biggest set of all time for Pokemon, and it's a standard set, Fusion Strike. It's kind of a weird thing. Previously, we normally had a little catch-up sessions in the specialty products that we normally get this time with like Celebrations has been, where we normally get that stuff crammed in to like a really like weak basic set for a set like thinking like Hidden Fates, where they kind of just like crammed a bunch of like really weak weird cards in there, and it's just like, all right, flip through all that until you get to the last two slots that you actually want to see. But Celebrations didn't have that. They just had the Classics set, and then they had the Standard set of just reprints and stuff. So we didn't have those things because they did those little itty-bitty four card packs. So it's kind of a weird setup that they've been doing here now. We could have expected that they were going to do something to help out Fusion Strike a little bit, because normally they combine the two Japanese sets, or more sometimes. Sometimes Japanese itself sets are divided into two, and then they cram all that into the English product version. But because of the 25th anniversary and the English Celebration set kind of being in the same time frame and window, we're all getting these cards at the same time, which is very interesting. It's very uncommon to see that happen. Normally we are way behind Japan, and we don't normally get, when those cards are leaking for Japan, it's normally only like the week of the set's release, but it's like a month or 2 months after or before we get our stuff. But of course with Celebrations we had the English version leak months and months before that anyway, so we were already spoiled, which was kind of a bummer. But Fusion Strike, the ETB booklet that has all the cards listed in them, leaked somehow, somewhere. Normally it's like the Spanish versions, or like some foreign language version that we get a leak of, because normally just for shipping situations they normally get that product a little early just for a little safety buffer. Normally they're busting stuff, like 2 weeks before. Or this time, it's the English version, and it's like we're at pre-release isn't until the last week of October, so we got a little ways to go still. 2 weeks before pre-release, so this is kind of super early to see the booklet. It has, again, these are all alleged. I don't really like to, talk about leaked stuff or potentially fake things, but the booklet looks pretty solid. I mean, it's kind of, it would take a huge amount of effort and a large amount of scrutiny going over that before it would be past snuff if it was fake. But from what I can see, it looks pretty legit, and it looks just exactly like what you would expect. So we're going to say that these are true, and if they aren't true, then this is just a thought experiment. But anyways, so we're getting the Selby alt art that we never got, and the Sandaconda alt art, right? The one where he's sitting by the little heater radiator. It's kind of it's a cute card for a snake. What else would you do? It's kind of a cute thing. And then you have what's the other one? Mason, hello. Oh, duh. Espeon VMAX Psychic set. It's throwing the Psychic stuff in here. But yeah, it's just they're just throwing all this stuff in from these older sets, and from like the Inteleon VMAX, the alt from that. There was I think it was like a 2-player deck where they had the Gengar VMAX and the Inteleon VMAX. in Japan, they brought those things over in this set, which they normally do. But they have that. They have Espeon from the last set from Eevee Heroes, and they pulled it into this one. Well, it wasn't even really Eevee Heroes. It was a promo that was not in Eevee Heroes. But they brought that into there, and like Celebi on the Sandacondas from way forever ago, threw that in there. It's very much just dumping everything into a funnel. You know, it's funny that whenever we always talk about comparing Japanese sets versus English sets, I'm always reminded of a video that SM Pratt did about that topic, and how he was saying that everything's so finely crafted in Japan, and it's, you know, the theming's always on point, and it's always a really tight group of cards, and everything makes sense. It's all cohesive. It's kind of like a 5-course meal of these sets in Japan. And then when they bring them over to English sets, they have some sort of type theming, just like the normal sets do in Japan, but it's all mixed up. It's kind of garbled. It's not really straightforward as it is where in Japan it's very obvious what the theme is. And in English it's kind of like, well, you know, Fusion Strike is like cityscapes and just like nature Celebi, and but it's still in the city with Sandaconda, so that's kind of fits in there. But and then Espeon's is like in the country, so I don't know what if it's got that kind of like country city dynamic. It gets convoluted, as you can see. So the theming isn't on point in English, so it's always he compared it to you know, a 5-course meal to Applebee's kind of like reheat meals, where the English set is the Applebee's version. And you know, sometimes it's obvious that, you know, we're not all eating good in the neighborhood with some of these sets, because it's just kind of it's rough. It's rough. The theming wise is kind of rough. So that's always interesting just to talk about it and to think about. And you know, we had a chance. We had a chance to be all together, and this has come up before where I'm thinking, oh my goodness, finally we're going to sync up with the Japanese expansions. They're all going to be timed at the same time, and even if they get them a little bit early, we'll still be together because we're on the same sync wave, and we're going to get sets at the same time. Nah. I don't know what it is. I don't know why they don't want to do it. I don't know what the advantage is from one or the other. But for whatever reason, Pokemon insists on these sets being different from English and Japan. I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense to me. But I'm not making the sets, so it's just really weird how because it has to do a lot with it messes up even like legality issues, and like when you go to Worlds and worry about Worlds and cards that are legal for Worlds and what's not for Worlds, and because Japan has a set before we do, it gets complicated. You have like an Oceania event where somebody from English is going to play, but it competitively it doesn't make sense. We're in a global economy. Anybody can get any sort of information, even before somebody wants you to. And we have to wait 2 months after Japan gets their stuff to be on the same level that they are. It's just a weird setup I wish I would fix. But yeah, until then, we're gonna have these weird like Frankenstein sets that just have a bunch of random garbage in them that is just fluff and filler, but we have to have them because legality for these cards, in case one of those gets played or something like that, it has to be in a set that matches up with the Japanese, so that we're at least kind of on the same page when it goes to those bigger events. So I understand it, but there's a very obvious solution, and I don't know why they don't just do it. But other than that, guys, Fusion Strike, does it look any better to you guys? Are you guys encouraged by the set at all? Do you think it's going to be better with the Espeon and the Celebi and the Sandaconda? Less so, probably, but does it at least help out? I think it does. I really like that we're getting any sort of those promos in any capacity, so it's a big deal. I think it's a big deal. Awesome to see. I mean, more beautiful cards the better, especially if they're alt arts. So we are, like I said, we're right around the corner from Fusion Strike. I'll probably have that stuff in my hands in a week or two when we go to do a pre-release. So that's exciting, awesome to see. Pokemon just keeps chugging along. So it's gonna be a good end of the year with a lot of the stuff if the supplies hold up. So we'll see what happens. But as always, appreciate you guys watching, supporting the channel, supporting the store. Thanks, guys. Catch you in the next one.